be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. So there's so much hatred, war and poverty, yeah. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe they will listen to what you have to say, because they're the ones who's coming up. The world's in their hands. 'Cause when you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if you just let it be. Yeah. The world won't get no better. We gotta change the world, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the one who's suffering, catching all the hell. But it don't go so very long until the judgment day. So won't you make them happy until they pass away? Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. No, we can't do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in your mind. Surely things will work out, they do it all the time. The world won't get no better just let it be. Yeah, 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 yeah. The world won't get no better. We can change the world, just you and me. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Yeah, 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 yeah. The world won't get no better. We gotta change the world, just you and me. Can't do it alone, just you and me. I need your help, yeah, just you and me. Can't do it alone, just you and me. Yeah.
Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world disaster. Could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's not us in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Oh, hasten's gone brown, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. The force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love renders you treasure, then you hear me when I say it's that love in need of love today. Sing it with me now, don't delay. Send yours in right away. You know hate's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Oh, it's up to you, 'cause love's in need of love today. Oh, before you know that we're wrong, don't delay. Send yours in right away. Hey,
silver and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, fell in the days when hope unborn has died, yet with the steady beat have not a wearied feet come to the place which where our people sigh. We have come over the way where the tears been watered. We have come treading the path through the blood and the torture. Out of the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of a star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far along the way, let our witness Thy might lead us into good light. Keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet fall from the places where God has led thee, lest our hearts shrunk with the wine of the world and forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, 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 and amen.
Choo 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 choo. All aboard the love train. take the wheel. Let your heart be open and see what is revealed. Keep the fire burning, stoke it good and hot. Feed it with the fuel of love, use everything you got. All aboard, we're moving down the track. Once you're on the love train, you won't be turning back. All aboard, just feel that clickety-clack. Once you're on the love train, there is no turning back. All aboard the love train, come join the joyous ride. Get to know your neighbor, let compassion be your guide. Like our teachers down the ages, let forgiveness take the lead. We're changing our direction and we're getting there, Godspeed. All aboard, we're moving down the track. Once you're on the love train, you won't be turning back. All aboard, just feel that clickety-clack. Once you're on the love train, there is no turning back. Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo. All aboard the love train, don't get left behind. Your people will be with you, all our lives are intertwined. Light the way of kindness, each passenger's a friend. We're on this train together, let me hear you say, Amen! Clickety-clacking along the track, love's the aphrodisiac. Taking it in and giving it back, get on board. All aboard, we're moving down the track. Once you're on the love train, there won't be turning back. All aboard, just feel that clickety-clack. Once you're on the love train, there is no turning back. Clickety-clacking along the track, love's the aphrodisiac. Taking it in and giving it back, get on board. Clickety-clacking along the track, love's the aphrodisiac. Taking it in and giving it back, get on board. Clickety-clacking along the track, love's the aphrodisiac. Taking it in and giving it back, get on board. Clickety-clacking along the track, love's the aphrodisiac.
Six by six from wall to wall, shutters on the windows, no light at all. Damp on the floor, you've got damp in the bed. They're trying to get you crazy, get you out of your head. They feed you scraps and they feed you lies to lower your defenses. No compromise, there's nothing you can do. The day can be long. Your mind is working overtime. Your body's not too strong. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. They've put you in a box so you can't get hurt. May may you not be deterred. Hold on. You have gambled with your own life. You face the night alone, while the builders of the cages sleep with bullets, bars, and stone. They will not see your path to freedom that you built with flesh and bone. They take you out, the light burns your eyes, to the talking room. It's no surprise. Loaded questions from clean white coats. Their eyes are all as hidden as their Hippocratic oath. They tell you how to behave, behave as their guest. You want to resist them, you do your best. They take you to your limits, they take you beyond. For all that they are doing, there's no way to respond. Hold on, hold on. They've put you in a box so you can't get hurt. May your spirit stay unbroken, may you not be deterred. Hold on. You have gambled with your own life, when you face the night alone, while the builders of the cages sleep with bullets, bars, and stone. They do not see the road to freedom that you built with flesh and bone. Though you may disappear, you're not forgotten here. And I will say to you, I will do what I can do. Though you may disappear, you're not forgotten here. And I will say to you, I will do what I can do. We will do what we can do.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, well, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me, stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me when you're in trouble. Stand by me. Ooh, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me. Yeah. Ooh, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. I am Carolyn Sadek, today's worship associate, and my pronouns are she, her. Our summer worship series, UU at the Movies, continues. Some of our summer services have been offered to the UUCSS as part of a collaboration among our minister, Reverend Christian Grassel Schmidt, and many other ministers around the country. Other summer services will be created and led by members of this congregation. You won't want to miss any of them. This morning, we have the pleasure of welcoming UUCSS member Charles Alexander into our virtual pulpit. Charles is an avid Star Wars fan and a blurred black nerd who, with the help of his daughter Amy, recently embraced the inner nerd as a source of strength. Today, Charles will be exploring the importance of representation in the sci-fi movie genre by telling his story of experiencing Star Wars: A New Hope for the first time as a 6-year-old kid. Whether this is your first time joining us for virtual worship or you're a long-timer, I'm so glad you're here. Dorothy Hale is our welcoming captain and will be glad to answer your questions in the chat. Dorothy will also be available during virtual coffee hour after the service. If you're watching live, you can log into Google to participate in the chat in real time. This is a big part of how we connect with one another during these services. Comments won't be available for later playback, but during the service they are very public, so please keep that in mind. Also, the live chat has some safety features to prevent disruptive comments, so you won't be able to post special characters or complete web addresses. You can log into a special Zoom room if you'd like to watch the service accompanied by American Sign Language. If you need help finding that link, please ask in the chat or email vstechsupport@uucss.org. In a few minutes, everyone will be invited to light our flaming chalices, so now is a good time to go and get a chalice, a candle, or even a flashlight so you can join in kindling the flame of community. But first, let's take a moment to say thank you to all of those who have made today's service possible. Please join me in the words on your screen as we light our chalices and reaffirm our congregational commitment. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring and guide us in the ways of truth. As we gather here for worship, we pledge ourselves to the endless search for the truth, to the right of each to believe as mind, heart, and conscience dictate, to accept the responsibility this freedom commands, and to implement our belief in the essential worth and dignity of every human being. May it be so. Now let's join together in singing. The words to our song of exaltation will appear on your screen.
Since what we choose is what we are, and what we love we yet shall be. The goal may ever shine. person holds a cell phone whose screen reflects colorful lights. Our community knows no boundaries. We are not confined to the physical limits of walls, or for that matter, of what often binds us, restricts us, holds us back. We are freer than we know when we release ourselves and each other from the expectations of what is needed for true community. We are here together in this space. I see you, I hear you, I love you. A time for all ages. David and Goliath, the Luke Skywalker of the Bible. Today we will hear the story of David and Goliath. I chose this story because it shows that even the most unlikely people can become heroes if they believe in themselves and work within their strengths and gifts to solve their problems. Saul had been king, but he kept disobeying God, so God asked Samuel to find a new king. God said to Samuel, "Go to Bethlehem, and there is a man named Jesse with 8 sons. One of them will be the next king." When Samuel first met the sons, he automatically thought that the oldest, named Eliab, would be king, the God chosen. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at the way he looks or how big he is. Eliab is not the one I have chosen. The way he looks doesn't matter to me. I look at the heart." Jesse brought more of his sons to meet Samuel, but none of them had God chosen. Samuel asked Jesse, "Have I met all of your sons?" Jesse replied, "I have one son left, David. He's the youngest and he's out looking after sheep. I'll bring him here to meet you." As soon as Samuel saw him, the Lord spoke to him and said, "He is the one." Samuel anointed him with oil, which was a special way of promising that he would be the next king. And from that day on, the power of the Lord was with David. Meanwhile, Samuel was still king, and he ruled a people called Israelites. David and his family were Israelites too. The Israelites were not getting along with the people named the Philistines. The problem with the Philistine was that they had many giants living in their land. One of the strongest and biggest giants was named Goliath. He was over 9 feet tall. Goliath was covered with armor to protect him, and he carried a big spear. Now David's father Jesse heard about the giant and was worried for his sons, who were serving in the army. He called David out of the fields and asked him to take some food to his brothers and report back how they were doing. So David set off to visit his brothers. As he approached, he heard Goliath shouting his challenge like he did every morning. Isn't someone going to stand up to this man? David asked the men in the army. Then I will fight the giant Philistine. One of the men overheard this and ran to Saul and told him what David said. Saul approached David and said, "You can't fight Goliath. You're only a boy, and he's been fighting for many years." But David said to Saul, "I have had to fight lions and bears to protect my father's sheep. God helped keep me safe then, and he will keep me safe now." So Saul dressed David in heavy armor to protect him from Goliath, but David took it off. It was so heavy he could hardly walk, and he knew that God would help him and keep him from harm. Instead, David went to a stream nearby and found 5 smooth stones, put them in a pouch around his waist, and with his sling, he went to Goliath. David approached Goliath. Goliath looked at David and thought it was a joke. Goliath thought he could easily beat David. And it was funny that Saul would send a small boy to fight him. But David said to him without fear, "You fight with the sword, and I come with God on my side. And today everyone will know that there is one true God in this land." Goliath didn't care what David said, and he moved closer to attack him. David ran quickly to meet him. Reaching into his pouch, he pulled out a stone, put it in his sling, and shot it at the giant. The stone hit him right between the eyes, and suddenly Goliath started to lose his balance. He fell with a loud thud right on his face. David had done it. He beat the giant Philistine. When the rest of the Philistines saw this, they ran away, and David became a hero to all the people of Israel.
Here at UUCSS, the practice of holding one another and our joys and sorrows in love and care is important to us. We have shared in this practice for many years, but not always in the same way. Before going to virtual worship, people usually shared their joys and sorrows from a microphone in the sanctuary. Other times, people were invited to write their joys and sorrows down, and a worship leader would share them during the service. During the pandemic, we invite anyone with a joy or sorrow to share it, to type it into the chat box while gentle music plays. As we prepare to transition to hybrid worship in the fall, where people will be able to participate both virtually and in person, we will likely try different ways to sharing our joys and sorrows until we find the way that works best for us. But no matter what form our joy and sorrow takes, it's important to remember that everything we share will be public during the live broadcast. If you are experiencing something difficult in your life and would like some extra support, I encourage you to send an email to layministers@uucss.org and they will be in touch. Thankfully, no one needs special training or a special title to offer love and care to others. So please go ahead and grab a notebook or make a note in your preferred app of the people whose joys and sorrows touch your heart and who you'd like to reach out to this week. If you're watching this service later as a recording, I hope you will hold your own joys and sorrows as tenderly as you would those of others, and that you will send loving kindness to all the people in our world and your life who need it. Let us now open our hearts to the joys and sorrows this gathered community has to share.
May we strive to provide each child heroes that look like them. May we help our children see their potential for greatness, to rise above the shackles the world places on them. May each child, especially our children of color, see images that inspire and encourage them to dream. And when society fails, may we each work within our sphere of influence to teach children to reach for the stars and soar beyond the limit the world sets for them. May it be so. Ashe. The first movie I remember sitting, watching, and following from beginning to end was released when I was 6 years old on May 25th, 1977. Back then, my mother and I spent summers in Cincinnati, Ohio, staying with my grandparents. Mom had heard about the new movie and thought my cousins and I would enjoy it. So she piled me, my cousins Rhonda and Furman into the car, and off we went. I remember being riveted to my seat as I took in a spectacle unlike anything I'd seen before. We each have flashbulb moments in our lives that mark major transitions in how we perceive the world. Watching this movie was one such profound event in my life.
My name is Rosetta Alexander, and I am very honored to say that I am Charles's mother. At a young age, he was diagnosed with learning disabilities that resulted in his not having much self-confidence. He was quiet and oftentimes felt that he was not quite as smart as other children his age. However, I encouraged him to use his imagination in every way possible. Because of his ADHD, he had difficulty concentrating for long periods of time. And I would take him to movies, but he couldn't sit still or concentrate long enough to enjoy the movie. However, when I took him to see the movie Star Wars, it was totally consuming his attention. I was amazed to see him sit quietly and even enjoy the entire movie. Little did I know this would be a turning point in his young life. After that, I watched him play for hours, acting out what appeared to be scenes from the movie. Eventually, neighborhood children asked if they could join in, and I observed a significant change in his interaction with his playmates. It was clear to me that he had become the leader of the group as I watched him direct the kids and how he wanted them to act out different parts of the movie.
I love that movie. It told the story of an outcast boy who did not appear to be special, living in a remote landscape. He lived a mundane life, longing to leave his home planet and forge a new destiny in the stars. Alas, he was trapped until an old hermit found him and told him his true destiny. The boy was the son of a great warrior, and that boy had inherited mystical abilities. And with those abilities, he would save the galaxy from the evil Emperor Palpatine and his diabolical henchman, Darth Vader. Star Wars: A New Hope spoke to my very soul because in Luke, I saw myself. Like Luke, I felt that I was destined to be great. But as a dyslexic ADHD kid who struggled in school, very few of my friends and teachers saw me as I envisioned myself. Watching Luke realize his destiny made me believe that I too had a destiny. Luke Skywalker opened my eyes to the possibility that I was far more than I appeared to be. On that day, May 25th, 1977, a lifelong obsession with Star Wars began. I remember going to the store and seeing a glow-in-the-dark sword and begging my mom to buy it for me. I remember engaging in elaborate sword fights with my cousins and imagining myself a fully realized Jedi. I remember sitting in class and zoning out as I drew elaborate space battles of zipping X-Wing and TIE fighters, with me at the control of Luke's X-Wing blowing the Death Star to dust. One advantage of having attention deficit disorder is the vivid imagination that comes with this so-called inability to attend. I was the architect of elaborate role-play games in which I could transform the playground of our cul-de-sac into the Star Wars galaxy. The swings were TIE fighters and X-Wing fighters. The train-shaped jungle gym became the Millennium Falcon. The sandbox was the desert of Tatooine, and the shade in the branches of the large weeping willow tree became the decks of the Death Star. I played my game, swept up in my own world until the neighborhood kids wanted to know what I was doing. and through the power of my imagination, they became inhabitants of the galaxy far away. Having other children swept into my fantasy world made it real. No longer did I have to imagine the characters in my drama. I had other actors who I directed expertly, and they were happy to let me build our world, except when it came to casting the most important character in the drama. "You can't be Luke," they said. I protested, of course. "It's my game, and I have the most in common with Luke." The cast of players advocated for another boy to play the part of Luke, the boy with sandy blonde hair and blue eyes. He was a logical choice. When I protested, my friends threatened to abandon the game, and I acquiesced. So I tried unsuccessfully to advocate for the next best part, Han Solo. He was not a Jedi, but he wore cool clothes, carried a kick-butt laser pistol, and piloted the Millennium Falcon. The white boy with brown hair and freckled cheeks got to play him. So I'll play Ben. Any other white boy got to play him. In the end, I was relegated to playing the hated Darth Vader or the lovable Wookiee Chewbacca. I always marvel at how well I recall these events of my childhood. I marvel at how I still feel a pang of sadness and anger and resentment, thinking about how those children hijacked my galaxy. I remember feeling inadequate and less than because I was not right for the part of Luke. I remember putting 2 and 2 together. I can't be Luke because I'm black. Their reason for denying my dream role seemed sound. Luke is white, so a white kid has to play him. In the end, it broke my heart because in their rationale, they also communicated to me that because I am black, the only suitable role for me was to play a character reminiscent of a dog or a character who embodies evil. They communicated to me that the black kid could not be the hero, not even when he wrote his own story. At best, he was a subhuman sidekick. At worst, evil incarnate. As I grew older, my mother and father would teach me my history. I learned about black pride and black heroes and black excellence. They did their best to shield me from being bombarded with messages that I was inadequate simply because of my skin tone. But truth be told, the lesson I learned from my childhood playmates were reinforced in the classroom, on the playground, at church, in the news, in history, in books, on television, and in the movies over and over again. Fast forward 22 years. I finally saw a black Jedi, Mace Windu, on the big screen. Not only was he a Jedi, he was a kick-ass Jedi master serving on the Jedi Council. Second, only to Master Yoda, he was arguably the most accomplished lightsaber wielder in the galaxy. I remember grinning from ear to ear as my childhood view of myself was realized on the big screen. Look at that. A black guy can be a Jedi. My nephew Alex grew up a Star Wars fan as well. Alex, like me, has a disability that has at times marked him as an outsider. When I watched him play, he reminded me of myself as he created his own galaxy far, far away. I was happy for him because just maybe his friend seeing someone who looks like him wield a lightsaber would see that the black kid can be every bit the hero as the white kids can be. Maybe, just maybe, he will doubt himself less. Perhaps the most significant service a parent can do for a child is help them see a world with no limits. Unfortunately, the minute a child is socialized into the world, there are forces that seek to undo the work of parents. As I close, I am reminded of my mother's favorite words of encouragement for me. When I would get down on myself as I struggled to read a text that appeared backwards from my dyslexic point of view, Mom would shut my book, look me in the eye and say, "Reach for the stars, Chucky, man. There is no limit to what you can do." I'm left thinking that she took me to see Star Wars for a reason. If a parent's job is to help their kid reach for the stars, how much easier would it be if every person believed that there are no limits? This is why representation matters.
As we prepare for the offering, most of us begin by finding our checkbooks or the giving app on our phones. But this morning, I invite all of us to begin by searching our hearts. Before we even think of money, let us bring to mind all of our gratitude, all of our love, all of our abundance, all of our hope, all of the gifts of life, and make our offering out of them. Each month, UUCSS gives our collection to an organization that shares our values. Today, our community will partner with Mobile Healthcare. Your donation to them will ensure that low-income and uninsured members of our community always get the medical care they need. To donate to Mobile Medical Healthcare, check the Special Collections mobile app or text message, or you can write Mobile Medical Healthcare in the memo line of the check you send to the church. At this time, you may choose to make your donation directly to our church, to Mobile Medical Healthcare, or to both of these worthy organizations. Now let us watch a short video explaining the valuable work that Mobile Medical Healthcare does for our community.
Thank you for your commitment to the community and for the opportunity to share a little bit about Mobile Med. I'm Peter Lowett, Executive Director. Mobile Med is a nonprofit community health center that for over 50 years has served the most disadvantaged residents of Montgomery County. Our patient population is incredibly diverse, racially and ethnically. The majority of our patients are uninsured, and we serve people regardless of their immigration status. This pandemic has really taught us that health disparities continue to persist, even in our community. So our goal is to make sure that regardless of the barriers that people face, that they can have a regular source of primary care for their acute issues, for chronic disease management, for preventive screenings, and for integrated behavioral health. We've also recognized that vaccinations are, of course, essential, and we need to apply an equity lens. So we have been busy vaccinating not just our patients, but also going into neighborhoods and vaccinating other people in need. Thank you again for this opportunity. We really depend on partners like you to serve the thousands of patients every year. Be well.
There are 3 ways you can make your financial gift to the congregation. The first is by downloading the Give Plus mobile app from Vanco to set up an account. The second way to give is by using your phone to text a message to 833-880-1363. And if the app or texting just don't work for you, the third way to give is by mailing a check directly to the church. All the information you need for all 3 of these methods is on your screen now and will appear again toward the end of today's service. I hope you will join me in making an offering with gratitude for all of life's gifts and to all that UUCSS means to you. The offering will now be given and received with gratitude.
Good morning, UUCSS. My name is Leah Morris, and it's good to be back in Silver Spring, sort of. This song is called The Cape and was recorded by Eric Bibb. 8 years old with a flour sack cape tied around her neck. She climbed on the garage and figured, hey, what the heck? Screwed up all her courage tight, the whole thing came unwound. She got a running start and bless her heart, she headed for the ground. She's just one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms and hold your breath, always trust your cape. All grown up with a flour sack cape tied around her dreams, full of spit and vinegar and busting at the seams. She licked her finger, checked the wind, it's gonna be do or die. As she She ain't scared of nothing, y'all. She's pretty sure she can fly. She's just one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms, you hold your breath, and you always trust your king. Old and gray with the flower sack cape tied around her head. Still jumping off that garage, and I guess she will till she's dead. All these years the people said she's acting like a kid. She didn't know that she could not fly, and that's just why she did. She's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms, you hold your breath, and you always trust your cape.
May the gifts we have given fuel the flame of our commitment, empower us to serve our mission, and give the life we share the shape of truth, love, and justice.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no. I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no. I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Please join me in the words of chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.
Our benediction for today comes from Your Life Matters by Kenny Wiley. Guided by the enduring, unfulfilled promise of the belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, ours is a faith that has said, or worked to say, to those who have been marginalized, you are a woman, your life matters. You are gay or lesbian, and your life matters. You are transgender, and your life matters. You are bisexual, and your life matters. You have a disability, and your life matters. You were not loved as a child, and your life matters. You struggle with depression, and your life matters. Right now, we are being called by our ancestors, by our principals, by young Black activists across the country to promote and affirm. You are young and Black, and your life matters. You stole something, and your life matters. I have been taught to fear you, and your life matters. The police are releasing your criminal record, and your life matters. They are calling you a thug, and your life matters. Representation matters. Our worship has ended.
Now our service begins.
Remember those walls I built? Maybe they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. Didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, got my angel now. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. That's the risk that we're taking. 'Cause everywhere I'm looking now, surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You're my saving grace. Like a ray of sun, burning through my darkest night. See, you're the only one I want. I'm addicted to your light. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. That's the risk that we're taking. Everywhere I'm looking now, surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. I can see your halo, halo. I can see your halo, your halo, your halo, halo. I can see your halo, your halo. I can see your halo, halo. I can see your halo, your halo, your halo, halo. I can see your halo, your halo. I can see your halo, halo. I can see your halo, your halo, your halo, halo. I can see your halo, your halo. I can see your